Tonight on the South Today, Christchurch's libraries on wheels are taking a technological leap, fusing digital and physical reading. A Central Otago Conservation Trust is using innovative technology to monitor and protect local lizards. And an ambitious Dunedin art student is knitting up a storm as part of a class project. Kia ora, good evening. I'm Hannah Wilkins. An innovative approach to mobile libraries in Christchurch is helping bridge the gap between digital and physical reading experiences. The new hybrid model is aimed at enhancing accessibility and reach of mobile libraries in the southern region.
Christchurch City Council's library services have been focusing on reaching out to the wider community. For years, their mobile vans have met the standard for those in need, who, for a variety of reasons, have been unable to attend the city's public libraries in person.
There's a lot of people who just can't get in there, or it could be a geographical barrier, they're just too far away, they can't get transport coming in, or they find it intimidating and it's just too much, they can't make it in.
The mobile libraries offer their patrons a wide range of books and magazines, although the selection is limited.
You would find in here anything that you would find in a normal library branch, just not quite as much of a range because obviously we're a smaller space.
As Christchurch has rebuilt itself after the earthquakes and technology has evolved, the purpose for the mobile libraries is now being reviewed.
We've certainly seen a decline in use. I think these stops have been historic stops. They've been set up when it was the earthquakes, it was to fit that gap, and since then demographics have changed, the community need has changed, so it's just time to have a look at what works best for the customers.
The library service is looking to create a hybrid service, still retaining much of the old system, but introducing new services to meet the ever-changing needs of its patrons.
So the hybrid service is going to be offering, on top of book browsing service on the van, Tokona Takaika Homelink service, which is an individualised service to people's doors, programme offerings such as book clubs, help with digital technology and book crate delivery services to organisations.
The Christchurch City Council will be transitioning to the new service next month, but is expecting it to take around a year to fully implement the changes. In Christchurch, the South Today.
An anti-oil activist is on trial in Dunedin for attempting to derail an industry conference almost 4 years ago by using a fake postponement email. Environmental activist Rosemary Penwarden led a protest in September 2019 outside Queenstown's Millennium Hotel. The venue was hosting an international conference of the Petroleum Exploration and Production Association of New Zealand. This morning, Penwarden appeared in the Dunedin District Court charged with forgery and using a forged document. The 64-year-old had set up a fake email account using the name of the conference and sent a letter to local and overseas delegates claiming the event had been postponed. Penwarden has pleaded not guilty to the charges, with her lawyer arguing the document was sent for satirical purposes and to highlight issues around oil exploration. The jury trial is set to conclude on Wednesday. A Central Otago Conservation Trust is celebrating the first results of a new environmental monitoring program. The Southern Lakes Sanctuary Trust says innovative new technology is helping them to better measure the health and lives of local lizards and other animals.
The Southern Lakes Sanctuary Trust is taking steps forward with potentially groundbreaking monitoring and trapping techniques in Central Otago. The Queenstown-based conservation group monitors and protects native plant and animal life from Wakatipu Basin across to Makaroa. The team's just completed the first trial of the new reptile monitoring technique involving environmental DNA. They collect shedding fragments from the lizards' habitats, allowing them to measure the health and occupancy of the animals. Wakatipu Hub Coordinator Bonnie Wilkins says eDNA monitoring is more cost-effective than older techniques, which were more intrusive and labour-intensive. The results are also more accurate and reliable.
We're laying out these pipes that have a filter paper in them. We can just leave those in the lizard's environment and hope that they are going to move through the pipes and then we can get their DNA from the filter paper.
The Southern Lakes Sanctuary Trust has also been putting into use the new self-resetting AT22 pest traps. Workers have set up 23 traps around Bob's Cove area, catching more than 300 possums over a 9-month period. The next step is trialling integrated AR recognition cameras in areas occupied by Kia, which should mean the traps only catch pre-programmed predators instead of the curious birds.
We will have a trap node on the camera, so we can monitor bait levels and battery levels, but there's also an AI camera. So that can tell the trap whether to fire or not fire, dependent on the AI machine learning of the image recognition. So,
Project Director Paul Kavana believes it's not only important to trap and monitor pests, but to monitor the native biodiversity that we are trying to protect. The Conservation Trust is now on the hunt for more funding to enable the team to expand the use of eDNA monitoring and traps in a variety of different habitats. In Queenstown, the South Today.
Many parents will have to keep their children occupied and managed over the next few weeks as industrial action ramps up across secondary and area schools. PPTA members voted overwhelmingly last week to reject the Ministry of Education's latest pay offer. That's despite the promise of 3 pay rises over 2 years, as well as a one-off payment of $4,500. PPTA members are holding rolling year-level strikes over the next 3 weeks, teaching only certain year groups each day. Those secondary teachers will also refuse to attend meetings and won't respond to emails outside regular school hours. Meanwhile, primary teachers have finally settled their collective contract dispute, which was almost identical to the one rejected by their post-primary colleagues. A Cromwell man has captured some of the South Island's grandest landscapes, turning them into a 4-minute time-lapse. Photographer Stephen Patience has spent the past 5 years creating his latest production, which he's titled Southern Splendor, New Zealand. The video is a collection of amazing landscapes from across the southern South Island, spanning from central Otago all the way up to Ashburton. The photographer is no stranger to long nights, sometimes having to brave the cold for more than 13 hours to collect well over 3,000 individual frames for one sequence. Patience has dedicated the time-lapse to his late friend and fellow landscape photographer Vicky Bowman, who recently passed away due to cancer. One dedicated Dunedin student has unravelled his infinite creativity to the public as part of Worldwide Knit Day. Polytech student Tristan John McGregor has weaved together passion and innovation as part of his incredibly long knitting mission.
Knitting a never-ending class project, as this really long colourful scarf grows in size each day. Tristan John McGregor's project is using more than $1,000 worth of wool to make, with around 7 to 10 threads used at a time. The Bachelor of Visual Arts student started knitting the remarkable project almost a year ago and isn't planning on stopping anytime soon.
It's something that doesn't have to end. It's something that you don't have to kind of come to a climax on, you know. It just allows itself to just keep going, just continuously.
McGregor showcases progress on the knitting project at the Otago Settlers Museum over the weekend, celebrating the Worldwide Knit and Public Day. But he's knitting on more than one special day, having spent almost every day since September knitting towards the project.
What I want to do is actually get it to the circumference of my body, so if I can get it bigger than I am to where I can lay on it and it's, you know, longer than me, then I'll be happy. I'll be I'll be very excited by that time.
McGregor plans to continue adding different colour combinations, but is unsure when his never-ending knitting project will reach its final thread. In Dunedin, the South Today.
Yakane, still to come on the South Today. Southland floral artists invite newbies to learn the knack of building foraged creations for the home with love. And Queenstown's feline resident Russell makes a clean sweep at some awards after a near-death experience.
Great Britain has a collection of varied landscapes and countryside to rival anywhere else in the world. And the best way to see it is to walk.
Drive away your way with 3 incredible offers on the Honda CR-V Adventure Ready range. Choose from 2.9% finance with 0 deposit, third finance, or lease a new CR-V from just $136 per week. These offers are only available for a limited time, so be in quick. from Honda.
Here at Age Concern Otago, we offer a range of services to support Otago seniors to age well with dignity and independence. We provide social work support, visiting service, health promotion and social activities. Check out what we have on offer at ageconcernotago.com.
If you're at risk of developing melanoma skin cancer, you owe it to yourself to have a mole map. Mole map is coming to your area. Phone today to make an appointment. It could save your life.
Aero, used by Australia's top bowlers with their unique Z-scoop grip that redefines the game. Machined with robotics for unparalleled accuracy, Aero, same line, every time.
Earth is a planet of extremes. Extreme places and extreme animals. But some animals are more extreme than others. Join us as we count down to find the most unusual, the most extraordinary, the most extreme.
Tēnā koe, welcome back. A group of Southland women have gathered in Winton to try their hand at turning garden scraps into art. An open day held by a local Floral art club was aimed at attracting more members who were keen to share some of their creative techniques.
Christmas came early to Winton as this group of women transformed a pile of plants and sticks into a festive wreath. The Central Southland Floral Art Club decided to host an open day workshop to give people the chance to have a go at something new and find out what the club's about. There's around 30 members in the Floral Art Group, but the women were hoping the winter wreath making will help attract more people to their monthly meetings.
And there's all sorts of tips and tricks that we can share with people, and that they can create something that they're really proud of, and that then they can give it to loved ones with lots of love and care.
Around 20 new people attended the open day, who were given a presentation on different techniques, models and materials before getting to make their own pieces. The artists use materials either found roadside or in their own gardens, meaning the club have had to adapt to new ways of creating floral art.
Our mothers had huge big gardens and lots of flowers. Today we don't have big gardens like that. We still use flowers, but we use them in new and interesting and creative ways.
The club aims to cater for all skill levels, hosting a range of different styles of design meetings, so all members can continue to learn something new. In Winton, the South Today.
A Queenstown kitten has not only recovered from a near-death experience, but is also cleaning up at cat shows. Russell has returned to his Central Otago home after winning a number of awards in Christchurch, which saw him nominated for an even bigger prize.
The little cat who could. 9-month-old Russell has made his return to Central Otago after back-to-back wins in some Christchurch cat shows. Russell the Miracle Mogi is deaf and has limited eyesight after he was believed to be attacked by a hawk in Kingston as a 6-week-old kitten. But that hasn't stopped the little champion from winning 8 awards across the Canterbury All Breeds Cat Show and the Long-Hair Cat Breeders Association Show.
And he won his supreme exhibit, which means he beat out all of the other domestic cats, long-haired, short-haired, and the companion pedigrees.
Despite recovering from damaged discs in his back and no function in one of his legs, the ginger kitty doesn't receive any special treatment for the events. Proud foster mother Lydia McCarthy says at each show, judges were always unaware of his background while judging, until they were asked at their last event.
No, they don't know about him. We only had one judge apparently at the last one who asked. She kind of went, "What's wrong with him?" Because you could tell that something wasn't right with him. Yeah.
Russell is now in the running to be named Cat of the Year and will likely be competing later this year in the Southern Cross All Breeds Cat Show in Dunedin. In Queenstown, the South Today.
And now recapping tonight's top stories on the South Today. Christchurch combines digital and physical reading in a hybrid way, making it easier to access mobile libraries. The Southern Lakes Sanctuary Trust celebrates the success of its environmental monitoring of lizards and local animals. And an incredibly long Polytech knitting project has been showcased to the public as part of Worldwide Knit on Public Day. And now a look at what's happening in tomorrow's ODT, and we welcome Associate Editor Mike Houlihan. Hello Mike.
Good evening, Hannah.
What can we expect in tomorrow's paper?
Well, we've got a quite strong story from the University of Otago, which, as viewers will know, is suffering some serious financial trouble. It basically pleaded with the government for an increase in its funding, saying that if it's going to survive in its current form, it does need more funding from central government.
Okay.
We've also got news that Central Dunedin Landmark Community House has been sold.
Oh right, big news.
It is big news, and it looks like it's going to survive, which is good because it is a historic places protected building. We've also got some amusing stats from the Accident Compensation Corporation, which shows that Otago and Southland apparently have the highest rate of hot water bottle related injuries of anywhere in New Zealand.
Oh goodness, of course we do.
And we've also got some tributes being paid to Kirsten Mowat, the former co-principal of Logan Park High, who died unexpectedly over the weekend.
All right, well, thank you for sharing this evening. We look forward to reading.
Thank you.
Time now for a look at the weather.
The South Today weather, proudly brought to you by MolMap, the skin cancer detection specialists.
Looking at the situation, expect a cold start this week with more frosts, but mild and northerly airflow is on the way closer to the weekend. Heading to the top of the South Island, fine with light winds up here with 15 in Nelson, 14 over in Greymouth, and down to Christchurch, expect a partly cloudy 11-degree day with light southwesterlies. Travelling to South Canterbury and North Otago, light southwest winds are inbound up top here tomorrow with some cloud and highs of 11 in Ashburton, 12 in Timaru and a windy 11 in Oamaru. Heading westwards to the Central Lakes, fiercely frosty through here still and low temperatures expected this week too. Tomorrow's a fine one with light winds and up to 5 in both Queenstown and Alexandra, but just 4 degrees in Wanaka. Heading further south, fine with light winds and a clear sweep tomorrow with highs of 10 degrees in Gore, Balclutha and the Catlins. And across to Southland, some cloud tonight in Invercargill with a 6-degree low. Tomorrow's clearing up to be fine and sunny with cold southwest winds and a high of 11 before a frosty -1 overnight. Wednesday, things start warming up slightly as northwesterly winds come through with 14 as the day's high. And finally heading to Dunedin, cloudy with breezy southwesterlies and an overnight low of 6. Then sunny first up tomorrow with patchy clouds before it fully clouds over in the afternoon with a southwest to northerly wind change and a high of 11. And into Wednesday, it's looking mostly fine and sunny with nor'easterlies and a warmer 14-degree high. And that's the news this Monday. For the latest news and videos from the southern region, head online to odt.co.nz. You can follow Channel 39 on YouTube to catch our news bulletins on demand, and we're also on Facebook. Just search for the South Today NZ to see our favourite stories from around the regions. We'll see you again tomorrow. Ka kite o popo.
Public interest journalism funded through New Zealand On Air.